Hello everybody, welcome to the Truth Seekers channel. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 Satans from the Book of Enoch. This is the introduction. Of Enoch, I downloaded for free on the internet, the full PDF version. Let me start with Enoch the Prophet, chapter 68. After this judgment they shall be astonished and irritated, for it shall be exhibited to the inhabitants of the earth. Behold the names of those angels. These are their names. The first of them is Samyaza, the second Arstikafa, the third Arman, the fourth Kakabeel, the fifth Turel, the sixth Rumiel, the seventh Daniel, the eighth Kael, the ninth Barakel, the 10th Azazel, and so on, and then they end with the 21st Azaziel. So you can see in this version the name Azaziel differs from this other version of the Book of Enoch, where the 21st is Azazel again. So I think that's why I start with this one. This one looks more plausible that it's different. Azazel. This is Azaziel. But you can see there is like 21 of these leaders. One is the main leader, that will be Samyaza. So you will have 20 leaders left. And these are the chiefs of their angels and the names of the leaders of their hundreds. So you will have chiefs of hundreds. So there will be like the hierarchy would be like groups of hundreds first, and then you will have leaders of 50. The groups of 50, the 100 will be divided in. So there were like 200 fallen angels, and these were then divided in hundreds. So you have like 2 groups of 100. Then you have the 2 groups of 100 will be divided in 2 groups again of 50, and in total you will have their leaders of the 50s and the leaders of their 10s, groups of 10 in each of the 50. So when you do like 20 times 10, you got 200. These are the leaders of the groups of the 10s, and the name of the first is Yekun, so he would be one of the leader of the 100 or a 50, and he was who seduced all the sons of the holy angel and causing them to descend on earth. Let us raise the offspring of man. The name of the second is Kasdaye. Then you have like the third Gadreel, the fourth Penemue, and the fifth is Kasadya. So you'll see in all 3 different versions they spell this name differently. Only the name Penemue is exactly the same in all 3 versions. So my conclusion is they're trying to confuse us what the real name is. If you add up all these numbers, like, so you have the leader Samyaza, then you have like the 5 leaders Yekun, Asbeel, Gadreel, Penemue, Kasadya, and then the 20. So the hierarchy would be one leader on top, it's the Samyaza, or he is one of the leader of one of the hundreds, or he's like the president, and he would have like the second leader, the vice president, that's the Yekun. And they will both be like leaders of the 2 groups of 100, and then the groups of 100 will be divided in 4 parts. Of every group of the 50 you will have, so every group of the 50 you will have Kasdaye is one leader of one group of 50, or he would be including in the group of 50, so he would be the leader of he'll be responsible for the 49 other angels, but these 50 will be like parted in groups of 10. So these 10 will have 20 leaders. So 20 divided by 4 would be 5. So Kasdaye will be the leader of 5. He will control 5 angels, and these 5 will control like 9 or 10. I think 9 including themselves, 10. Then you will have about 201 in total, if you do the math correctly, and that would be the hierarchical structure of the fallen angels. So it will not be like one person will be the leader of a whole group together, but he will be leader of a handful of not more than 5 angels. This is what I read out of the book according to my interpretation. You should do the maths, see if you can find out what the hierarchy was, but according to me this was like how it was. Wikipedia, it says Yeqon or Yeqon, Hebrew romanized Yaqum, so the names are being changed constantly. You cannot know what the original name was. Since recent time, since the Sumerian tablets, we can find out that these names are actually, according to my theory, these things come from the Sumerian time, the Sumerian tablets, because these so-called gods or angels, falling angels, were closer to this civilization, the ancient Sumerian civilization, than other civilization. And of course, every civilization that came after that, who conquered that civilization, wanted to claim their role of being the chosen one or people from God for their further developments, or for historical purposes, or for gaining power. Different reason why the conqueror or the victor rewrites the history and try to destroy the history before that. So that was happening during these thousands of years. You should dive into it, look it up. See, the Romans did it, the Greek did it, a lot of cultures now they are trying in different ways to manipulate history, and it's hard to find out which is which. So that's why we have people like me are doing the research and are trying to bring out the truth. Yeqon name was be he shall rise, so he was not the top, according to how I see it. He can rise to the number 1 position if the number 1 leader dies or something happen. He is like the second in command. So he was the ringleader, according to this text, who first tempted the other watchers into having intercourse with humans. His accomplices were Asbeel, Gadreel, Penemue, and Kasdaye. In 2 versions the name is Asbeel, and in the prophet he's called Kasabel. Kasabel and Asbeel doesn't sound alike. So let's go back to the Wikipedia. So the Jeqon was the leader of these 4. Was the ringleader who tempted the other watchers. So actually he was in command, and his accomplices were these 4 who were identified as individual satans. So Satan is actually a title. It's the adversary of God. Just like Lucifer is not really a name. Bringer of light, somebody that brings light. And it could be a name, but the original word was a word, but it was left as the Latin word, which was eventually a name, so it was really confusing. But the name was from a person that actually existed, and he was like the opponent of the guy, Saint Jerome. He was the enemy of Saint Lucifer. That's why he left the name Lucifer in that part. This was the introduction. I will dive into each name separately in 5 different episodes after this one. This is just the introduction to show you how the hierarchy is. Like you have like one leader who controls a handful of other leaders. This handful of leaders also control another handful of leaders, and so on and so on. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel.